Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to today's YouTube video, and today I'm going to be talking about the new Prank Kids Link monster, guys. And so this is a new Link 1 for the archetype, man. I was just scrolling through Twitter, and all of a sudden, guess what I found? Konami said in Phantom Rage that there's going to be a new Link 1 Prank Kids monster. And this Link 1 is absolutely busted, guys. Like, this Link 1 is something that deck has been missing for a while now, and it's a deck that I've actually been play testing. And so today what I'm going to be showcasing you guys is a combo tutorial video with the new Prank Kids monster, and as well as some of like the intricate plays you can do ever since this card gets introduced. So the problem before, right, with the Prank Kid deck was that you kind of need extenders, right? Like when you go, if you go normal summon drop season pass, like you're not really doing anything. But you needed to see a Paul in your hand. Like I was playing like the OG polymerization. Like you can play with the Alistair engine to get to Invocation, diffuse your monsters, because at the end of the day, it's kind of like Shadal's. If you don't see a fusion spell, you're probably going to lose the game. But thankfully, this new Link 1 essentially or effectively turned any one Prank Kid monster into full combo. And if you look at it before, right, like you have 12 monsters. You play 3 of every single prank monster. But then you also have the 3 field spell and the 1 terraforming, which means that you effectively means that 16 out of 40 cards in your deck means that you have full combo. But of course, if you were to draw more Prank Kids monsters and a poly spell, you can get even further and the ceiling is raised even higher. But the most important thing that we should know is that now, like with 1 card, you can link climb very, very highly. And the craziest thing about all of this is that the craziest thing about all of this is that essentially the craziest thing about all of this is essentially you can even make an access code talker because there's no card that actually restricts you from continuing to play, and that's because the only card that restricts you in the entire archetype is Pandemonium. So like as you can see, 1 Prank Kids monster is essentially like 4 monsters, and that's why it's really, really powerful. But without further ado, guys, I'm gonna be showcasing you guys like a 1 card combo as well as other test hands. But without further ado, we're gonna jump right into it. Alright guys, welcome back to the combo video, and today what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with any Prank Kid. I just chose Fire. It doesn't really matter. I guess it kind of does, but it's just like a different line of play. But like for the general theme of it, pretty much any Prank Kid monster is combo. So we'll start off with Lamses. We're gonna essentially normal summon Lamses and then make the new Prank Kids monster card Meow Meow. So just to like kind of explain to you guys what this card does, if you guys haven't read it yet and haven't read the translation, it says that you can only link summon Meow Meow once a turn. And essentially, if a Prank Kids monster would tribute itself to activate any effect during the opponent's turn only, by the way, you can banish this card from your field or graveyard instead. Now, why is that really, really powerful? Well, essentially, you're going to read a new card called Prank Kids Butler, Battle Butler. And when we get to the end of the combo, I'll explain why Meow Meow is really, really strong. But anyways, we're going to go Lamses, link it off into a Meow Meow, and that triggers off Lamses. We're going to burn our opponents for 500 and summon Fansies. We're then going to use Meow Meow and the Fansies. There's an important reason why I summon Fansies here. It's because Fansies dump any card from our deck to the graveyard, and I'm going to show you why that actually matters. But we're going to summon the Doodle Bird, and then we're going to go Chainlink 1 Bird, Chainlink 2 Fansies, because we want the bird to resolve. The bird is the wind is going to dump the plan, which is essentially an IP effect. It lets you link summon during the opponent's turn. And then the bird is going to trigger to add you Pandemonium, which is a fusion spell for the deck. And this is really crazy because you see that now we're able to combo off without hard drawing any fusion spell. That's really, really important. And that's definitely something that the deck has been missing. We're going to activate Pandemonium now to use those 2 of material to make Rocket Ride. Why this is really, really good is because we get to trigger off the water, which gains us 1,000 life points and summon an extra body, which inherently, if you look at it, actually gives us a +1. We're going to use Rocket's Ride effect to bring back the Doodle Bird and the water. And then we're going to use the bird effect to actually add back Plan and Pandemonium. So effectively, what we have here is we've essentially converted 1 monster into 4 cards. So we went effectively +3 off this entire interaction, but we're not done yet. Because then we're going to use the Roxies, and we're going to use Dropsies, and then turn it into a Bow Wow. So Bow Wow, it's really neat because it lets us add back cards in our graveyard on the opponent's turn. But why we did this is so that we can trigger Roxies to, first of all, banish 1, draw 1. So this is one card, by the way, guys. So we drew a free card by banishing one of like our random cards in our hand, and then we're gonna summon Dropsies. We're then gonna we're gonna set 2 cards. I'm not gonna use this dice. It's basically a blank draw one. So effectively, we've had 5 cards in our hand, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. So we went plus 3 of this entire interaction off 1 card. Or technically plus 4, sorry, because we have 5 cards in hand. So on the opponent's turn, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use Bow Wow's effect to add back a wind and a fire, because those are the materials required for Butler. And keep in mind, we have so many cards in hand at this point. So then we'll use Pandemonium to use the water, the wind, and the fire to make Battle Butler. So now you guys get to read Battle Butler. So this card is really, really nice. First of all, it's a Thunder Fusion monster. That's really important because you can actually use Thunder Dragon Fusion to make this card. And then Thunder Dragon Fusion can recycle all the resources in your graveyard, as well as Thunder Dragon Fusion being able to banish yourself to add a Fansies on the follow-up. That's something to keep in mind, as I'll probably talk about some of like the crazy tech cards you can probably implement because of this new card. But effectively, Battle Butler is not a once per turn effect. You'll see that when it's fusion summoned, you can tribute this card and destroy all monsters opponent controlled. Not once per turn. The only effect that's once per turn is that if this card is sent to the graveyard by your opponent's card, you can actually target any fusion monster in your graveyard and then reborn it, or non-fusion monster. So, anyways, Battle Butler can then tribute itself. But guess what? It can actually it can actually banish the Mew Mew to activate the Butler. But when you also make Pandemonium, you also trigger out 3 of your Prankits cards, which is broken, because now we're going to summon 3 times on the opponent's turn. So we're going to trigger Dropsies, Fansies, and Lampsies, as in a very nice chain link here. And then we're going to use, if they summon anything, we're going to use Butler Effect to pop other cards. And then we have the option of using Butler Effect again and holding our resources, and then using Plan to make another Bow Wow, or to effectively make Doodlebird and then add a follow-up. But it doesn't matter, because as long as they don't get rid of any of our Lampsies, Dropsies, or Roxies, they can't really we just link one into the Meow Meow again, and we have full combo. But effectively here we're gonna use the Plan. Here's an option. You can use the Plan, and then make Roaring Roaster, and then use Roaring Roaster's effect to also like Heavy Storm Duster them. And we also trigger out the Roxies, so we summon the Fansies as our follow up. It's also 2,000 defense, which is really high. So effectively we've Raigeki their whole board, and Heavy Storm Duster their whole board. Right, so at this point in time, like and then we saw 5 cards in our hand, by the way. So this is really, really powerful for that reason. And now you can also, like I said before, not use all the materials and then just make the Bow Wow instead, and then or make the Doodlebird and then have a follow up. All right, guys. So let's say now we're gonna show you guys now combo number 2. So let's say we draw like a hand full of more Prankit monsters. This one is a little awkward, and I'll explain why, but we still get there. So let's say we hard draw the polymerization with like the Prankit monsters. So we're gonna activate Poly, use Wind and Fire to make the Rocket Ride. We're gonna chain 1 and 2, the Wind and the Fire, to burn opponents for 500, as well as dump a card. And then we're gonna summon double Dropsies. We can't actually do that just because we actually hard drew both the Dropsies. So we have to do a weird play to play around hand traps. We would actually normal summon the Dropsies, and then make Totally right here. So it's a very different place, and you adapt as you continue to keep playing. So that's something that you guys should know with this deck. You keep adapting with your hands. Next, we're going to use the Roxies as a link 1 because we haven't triggered that yet, and then use Roxy's effect to essentially banish the Dropsies to draw 1 card, and then summon the Fire. Unfortunately, because we couldn't summon the Dropsies because we already hard drew to double, which is why it's kind of bad, but that's okay. We're now going to make Bow Wow. But we're going to try to make Doodlebird first, just to add the Pandemonium. We're going to use Doodlebird effect to add Lampsies, and we're going to add Plan. We're going to set both of them. But we want to use Rocket Ride effect first to bring back the Doodlebird, and then the Roxy just to have like extra materials. We're going to set 2. Technically, you can also have, instead of making Rocket Ride here, we can actually just make Weather Washer, which I think would have been better in this situation because we actually don't need to bring back the Doodlebird. And if we use Weather Washer, our monsters can't be destroyed by card effects. But anyways, it's the same scenario. On the opponent's turn, yeah, because then we can just make Bow Wow here. So it's regardless. It's either when you end on the Bow Wow or you end up on the Weather Wash. I think Weather Wash is better because they can't destroy your cards by battle. But Bow Wow protects you from getting Lightning Storm. So I guess that's kind of decent. But yeah, so anyways, we're gonna go into we're gonna negate something with Toad, assuming they activate anything. We're gonna add Dropsies back to our hand. That's how we improvise, because the totally actually adds back any water monsters in our deck from our graveyard to the hand. So we actually add back the Dropsies here, and then we can activate Pandemonium to make Butler again, and then we'll trigger all three of those effects. So that's really, really powerful there. We also could have just activated. Yeah, now we can also just Bow Wow, add back follow up play. But it's gonna be the same thing. We're gonna use Butler Raigeki. We're gonna use the Bow Wow to add our follow with Pandemonium, add back Palace, our place, and then we can just activate Prank Kids. Effectively, like I said before, to either make a heavy Storm Duster if we're playing against a trap deck. We can actually just make We can actually just make double heavy Storm Duster as well, or double Raigeki, or 1/1, depending on how you want to play the board. So that's why it's really powerful. You can also do 2 Raigeki, 1 heavy Duster. But you guys just to see now, essentially. Also keep in mind, I'm playing 10 hand traps into the deck, and essentially any one card is combo. So I'll now show you guys like kind of like the deck list of what I have in mind. All right, guys, and now I'm gonna show you guys, the deck list. So, in terms of the deck list, I played 10 hand traps right now. This is the more pure variant of the Prank Kit deck, but so I have actually the Spice coming up. You'll see that Roxy is actually an Earth, and you can actually play it in Adamantimators, and like there's actually a really cool combos in Adamantimators. So comment down below if you want to see the combos with Adamantimators and how this works. Because remember, you have to keep in mind that Meow Meow is actually a Rock Earth. So if you actually make a Link 1, you can actually special summon Researcher from your hand. So that's like some big brain combos that we're doing. Hani and I and Kamal as well, shout out to them. Actually worked on like the Adamantimator combo with me. So if you guys want to see that video, definitely comment in the comment section below that you're interested. But we're gonna do like a pure Prank Kids video right now because I figured I didn't want to like kind of taint Prank Kids yet and not abuse them yet. I kind of want to show like kind of the original OG combo with just one Prank Kids, and then better hands if you draw multiple. So we play double Veiler, double Ash, Nib, Imperm as our hand trap of choice. You play the Veiler and Ash because you have a high chance to draw 2, and you don't want to draw 2 of dead hand traps like double Ash in a 3-hand if you were to play the Ash. So this was like the theory that like Kamal and I were talking about. Like basically like we want to play 2 Ash, 2 Veiler, 3 Imperm because we can draw multiples of every other hand trap. We just don't want to draw multiples of Ash. And Roxy also draws as a card, by the way. And then you play 3 of all the Prank Kids. There's no debate on that. You kind of have to maximize the consistency of this list because you need to see a Prank Kids monster to play. You play Triple Desires for even more consistency to just draw into more hand traps. And if you banish any of these, it doesn't really matter because as long as you have 1 of each color, it should be fine. And you're never going to banish all 3 of them unless you're really unlucky because Pranks is actually an average for the deck and actually keeps recycling back your resources. Then you play 3 Pandemonium. It's not once per turn. A lot of people know this. People think Pandemonium is once per turn. It's not once per turn, and it's really, really powerful if you hard draw it anyways because it's basically a polymerization because we're playing a more pure variant. Then we're going to play 3 Place. 3 Place means it substitute for any prank monster, so that's really powerful, and we play the 1 Terraforming. So basically we have 16 monsters in our deck. Pranks is a really good extender in case we get hand trap because if we go normal summon and Link and then they ash us, we can actually Pranks to make a token and then make a Doodle Bird and then keep playing. So that's really, really strong for that reason. Also, the fact that you can actually shuffle back 3 cards, which includes extra deck monsters, by the way. So you recycle your extra deck to draw a card so you can draw into a hand trap at the end phase. Then you play Instant Fusion. This card is like the most busted extender in your deck, making Rocket Ride is really broken. You play Terraform, like I mentioned before. You play the 1 of Plan to Link Summon. You play 1 of this over triple Pandemonium instead of Mole Plan because Pandemonium can actually make any fusion monster, while like the plan is usually kind of like to make the Roaring Rooster. But yep, that's pretty much it. Then triple Poly just for like consistency. Drawing Poly in our starting hand means that we actually play through like hand traps and like Nibiru. So like Poly plus any 2 pranks plays through Nib, and then we can keep comboing after that. And obviously having the Mio is actually really, really powerful because, like I said before, any 1 Prank Kids is full combo. But without further ado, guys, I hope you guys enjoy that combo. If you wanted me to like see more, I guess even crazier combos, then let me know. This is literally what we did on like a whim. So if you guys enjoy this, please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.